Thank you and welcome to another interview with DJ Nocturna. If you are watching on my YouTube channel, please like, subscribe, and share. Thank you very much for joining me. I've got some wonderful people from Australia. I've been doing a lot of interviews with people from Australia and New Zealand, thanks to Michelle at UTM Music Group. And now I've got these wonderful people. I know you guys are in the opposite compared to where I'm in the summer. You guys are in the winter. I can see you're all like nicely dressed. I'm like almost sweating here in Hawaii. I've got some people from Sydney and Jarrad from Melbourne. So I've got Ant Banister, who is the founder of Mantravision Productions. He's also the lead vocalist for the post-punk outfit Sounds Like Winter. And with him, he's got Andi Lennon, who is the guitarist and the other vocalist for Sounds Like Winter. And beside him is Leticia, who's also with the band. Thank you guys for joining me. And then
Battery.
And in the circle, we've got Jarrad Robertson, who is in Melbourne. He's up in the mountains in Melbourne. And he's a founding member and a multi-instrumentalist for the band called Sea Lungs. And all of you guys are in the record label Mantravision Productions, correct?
Correct.
Thank you guys for joining me. I had to make sure I put that all into order before I miss everybody and mess it all up, you know. But thank you guys. Now, Ant, I know you are the founder of the label. Can you tell us a little bit about how you started the label and your vision?
Basically, it just started off as how I work, which is making music and also mastering and mixing for other acts, and basically helping out up and coming bands. And over the years, just working with different people, we kind of formed a little bit of a collective, you know. I'm calling it a label because it can be the umbrella we work under, but it's just a collective of people with that are like-minded about the music they make. And we also, this cross-pollination. Andy sings in Sea Lungs. I play a bit of keyboards. Leticia's going to be drumming live for Sea Lungs when we play in Melbourne in October.
So it's more of a collective than a label.
Yeah, it's a collective, really.
He's just gathered all together, all these people, because he's very busy. I don't know if he sleeps. He doesn't drink.
Oh, really? Wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah, he gets all these cats together.
Yeah, just, you know, it's a passion project, and I wish I had more help when I was younger as a musician, and so I'm trying to, you know, do what I wanted to have happen to me, is just to support, you know, and make things happen. And it's coming together really nicely in the last couple of years, getting some recognition, and the projects are all going well. Sequential Zero is going well. Sea Lungs has been really amazing. And of course, the Sounds Like Winter has helped carry the whole thing, because we're writing album number 4. We're really well liked across the globe as far as we can see by our fellow musicians. And
I hope so.
Yeah, I think they like us.
I remember when we first got the second record back, I was like listening to it back on vinyl. I was like, this is the best goth record since 1982. And then I sobered up and I was like, oh, I've made heaps of mistakes on this record. But like, yeah.
So who is the primary, Andy, who's the primary, I guess, do you all share the lyrics and songwriting expertise in the band? Sounds Like Winter?
For Sounds Like Winter, we kind of do 50-50, like actually probably 60-40. So all the songs about feelings are by Ant, and all the songs about sodomy are by me. Essentially, like, if you want to break it down, like,
I think he sings about sandwiches a lot too.
Sandwiches, sodomy, history, all the humans have, like, all the horrible and beautiful things that humans have done to each other. I'm a bit scared, like, so Ant's very brave. He sings about his feelings, which I don't necessarily do. I want to sing songs that everybody who listens to them can figure it out on their own. Yeah, I don't know. We work well together. It's like 50-50. It's like 60-40. Yeah.
And Jarrad, I know you're the founder of Sea Lungs, and you're in Melbourne. How did you guys all like connect like this? I know you're in Melbourne. Were you living in Sydney at one point?
No. So everybody that you're speaking to in the other room, I've only ever met once, and met for a small amount of time at a gig. We were playing on the same lineup together, and for the brief amount of time that we spoke, we kind of just connected on enjoying the same things about music and being passionate about music. And when the pandemic hit and all the lockdowns started, my band that I was playing with sort of fell apart. So to keep myself interested, I started writing a solo project. And then I realized that solo projects get pretty boring pretty quickly. So you need other people to get on board and tell you what you're doing right, tell you what you're doing wrong, and help do all the things that you can't do yourself. So I reached out to Andy and Ant, just being a fan of Sounds Like Winter myself, and going, hey, I like what you guys do. Is there any chance you could help me with what I do? And I wasn't expecting much from it. And now, the guys are a permanent part of the band, and Ant's done all the production and really sort of taken me under his wing. And Sea Lungs probably wouldn't exist without these guys. So it's been it's been pretty amazing how it's all happened and how it all works, considering that we don't actually, apart from online, we don't actually know each other. So
it was kind of perfect in a way, because it was so simpatico. Immediately there was like so much shared interest, and it just works. Jarrad's music is incredible. Like, he writes the best fucking songs, and like immediately every time I hear one, I can get vocal melodies in my head straight away. Like,
Yeah. Sea Lung just released. You just released your latest single called Truffle Pigs.
yes.
Yeah, that's this interesting name for a highly prized food.
well, it's a metaphor. It's a metaphor. It's not about the food itself. It's about like so imagine you're a truffle pig, right? You have to dig and sniff for the truffles, but you don't get to eat them, right? You have to pass them on up the chain to some other cunt, right?
Ironically, the pig back then, they I don't know if they use them anymore, but they used to eat the truffle. That's why they stopped using the pigs. Seriously.
Yeah, it's all truffle dogs now. So the song's outdated. We're gonna have to get rid of it.
You've done your research, have you? Yeah.
So tell us about that single.
Jarrad,
yeah, well, that single, it's a song. Yeah, it's been released in the last month, but it's a song that I've been working on for quite a while. It was just an idea that sort of came to me. In the past, I've always played with heavier bands, and it's always been big, long riffs that are just repeat over and over and don't really go anywhere melodically. So when I decided to start doing Sea Lungs, it was trying to do something that I hadn't done before. So writing more delicate and intricate songs, and having twisting melodies and a little bit more of letting the music take you on a bit of a journey rather than just smashing music into your ears. So yeah, I've been working on this idea for a while, and just couldn't. It's one of those songs that I just could never get finished. And one day, after I started writing with Andy, it was just like, well, I have to finish this. I think it's going to be perfect for Andy. He's going to do something amazing with it. So I finally got it done and sent it across to Andy, and he's worked his magic on it.
Yeah,
the chorus riff, those two chords, immediately was like, yeah, I got something here.
Yeah, I kind of see the influence of like Sex Gang Children in there. I don't know.
And like, so when I was a teenager, Sex Gang Children, Christian Death, Virgin Prunes, Bauhaus, Joy Division, like particularly those theatrical bands, I was obsessed with Sex Gang Children, especially Song and Legend and Blind and Medea, and then even up to what's the one after that? The solo one where he was in prison. It's all these beautiful acoustic songs, and his voice is just unrepentant, right? So and then Bastard Art, but like telling tales out of school now, but I don't think he's done anything good for the last 20 years. I think we're like carrying the torch. So
Yeah. He's probably going to watch this, you know.
Yeah, mine's gonna feel offended now.
look, I remember I when I was like 18, I did a demo and I gave it to this girl that I was with at the time, and she was going to the Whitby Goth Festival in the UK. And so she took the demo and she sat in the front row with a big sign that said "Blowjob from Australia." Right? And so like one thing after another, there was some gobby, and then there was some listening to the songs. It was just cool to connect with a band like that. But yeah, Sex Gang Children are a weird band, man. Like they have, I can't think of another band like them. Maybe Virgin Prunes. They're very theatrical. They're very
Yeah. I like them too. You know, I like the, what's the song? I think it was a popular one. They had like a little piece from The Exorcist, like a little cut, you know, when Reagan, you know,
You know what she did? Your
Yeah.
cunting daughter.
Yeah, you got to do it with the accent. That's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, the funny thing about, you know, we sort of get tagged with all these bands and all these influences, and I have to Google them. I've never heard any of them. So I'm a little bit younger than these guys, and I grew up with, like, you know, Nirvana and the whole grunge thing, and then moving into the world of the horribleness of new metal. So all of these like 80s goth and death rock bands that people say we sound like, all that influence comes from Andi, because I don't even know who they are. So I'm sure I've probably just cut our audience in half, but you know, I've just offended everybody. But yeah, I've
No, you actually got more people who appreciate it, because other people who appreciate who you are, you know, as a musician.
I
It's really,
really
it's really the talent behind it.
like the fact that Jarrad's guitars and Jarrad's songwriting is not that way. It's like he uses a lot of chords, he uses a lot of melodies. It's not what I'm used to. It's very, very cool to write with.
Yeah, I love pulling it all together and you know, make it sound really good, because there's not a lot of work to do in that direction. Actually, it's already sounding really good, but it's just, you know, bringing the production up. But I enjoy every minute of it. It's an amalgamation of so many different styles and feels and stuff, and it's created something really unique, which has really got my blood pumping. That's for sure. It's very good.
Yeah, it's been nice to have people say that you can tell it's a Sea Lung song, but it doesn't sound the same as the last 3 Sea Lung songs. Like, there's definitely a bit of a vibe running through it, but it could be also 5 different bands doing 5 different songs. So, which is just a happy accident, and down to me being really, I get bored very easily. So if I wrote the same song twice, I'd get so bored. So
I can't wait to spend more time with you and actually work on these songs. Like, you know, like there's so much we can do, man. Like,
Hey, are you guys gonna be connecting?
Yeah.
yes,
It's not that far. I know it's not far. It's not too far away from each other.
Yeah, in October, basically, we're running 2 weekends, one in Sydney, one in Melbourne.
Mhm.
And we're going to put on a couple of shows with Icon, Sounds Like Winter and Sea Lungs.
I
And
was
then
gonna ask you that.
Mhm.
I was gonna ask you if you guys were gonna do some kind of live shows, you know, with
Yeah. So basically what we're going to do is we're going during the Sounds Like Winter rehearsals. I'm going to assist with a bit of technology so that we can rehearse Sea Lungs as well. And then they'll get together before the actual shows and rehearse some more.
Essentially, we're going to have one rehearsal before we play live.
Yeah.
Fun.
So it's going to be gloriously unpredictable.
But these guys are all pros. It'll be fine, you know. And we just do a little bit.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, we'll do some due diligence beforehand, and everything will be fine. You know, it'll be fine.
So when are you guys planning on? When are you guys planning on performing live together?
October the 22nd will be the first show.
In Sydney.
It's in Sydney. And then October the 29th, Jarrad's pulling together like a mini post-punk festival, as far as I know. And so how many bands are you looking at, Jarrad?
So far I've got 6 bands confirmed, and in my head I'm probably going to get another 6 and some DJs. And I've definitely bitten off more than I can chew. It's one of those things that was a good idea at the time, and now I have to make it happen. It's becoming less of a good idea, but yeah, we'll make a party of it.
Well, let me know if there's anything going on in Melbourne around November, the first 2 weeks. I'll be over there.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's it.
There's always something going on in Melbourne. Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay. Now,
Weeks of October, you were saying?
No, November.
November.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
and now I know you're also a DJ, right?
Yeah.
So how did you are you still DJing a lot, or?
Yeah, basically, I never stopped DJing. I've always been a DJ because I it's just part of who I am. But the last few years, I've been running clubs as well. So I'm involved with a long-running golf club called Sanctuary, which has been running since 1988 or so.
Oh wow!
On and off.
In Sydney?
Yeah, Sydney, yeah. So what we do now with Sanctuary is we run 3 or 4 times a year, and it's a huge warehouse party. It's big. And then I run an 80s club every few months.
That's where we were last night.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, in Sydney. So what are the golf clubs in Melbourne?
There's one, the New Order, and what else is there?
What's the one that Sparky McGee runs, like the Deseret one?
1334.
Yeah.
But I think 1334 has moved to Brisbane now. But yeah, there's the golf scene in Melbourne is.
I remember the last time I played there,
It's
they were giving out Jello shots, and I don't like Jello, so I was just throwing them into his hair.
oh, okay. The scene there's a little bit different to Sydney. It's hard to say. It's a little bit more hardcore and serious, and maybe I feel like there's more gatekeepers involved, whereas the Sydney scene is quite open, and we actually cross-pollinate with the live band scene, with the 80s scene, and so but it does mean that when we have parties, they're huge, they're really big. Sanctuary gets 450 people, no problem at all. It's all good.
It's good. You find people to say in the toilets. It's excellent.
Yeah. I was running a radio show on MixCloud for a while, a couple of years ago, and that went really well, and it was being played in the US and the UK and blah blah blah. But it as you know, it just becomes a beast, and you've got to manage it, and it becomes all you do. And so I was running out of time to make my own music, so I had to stop.
Yeah, I know it. Believe me, it takes a lot of time doing this. It's like
Good on you.
The appreciation that we have for all the independent SoundCloud and podcasts and everybody, it reminds me of back in the 90s when we would do fanzines and tape trading. It takes a lot of effort, but it's like the enthusiasm that we get from people, and the amount of work that goes into all of you doing your shows is spectacular.
Yeah.
We're incredibly
we-
like, yeah.
We do really appreciate it. It's definitely, yeah, it's where we get most of our love from. So we do appreciate that.
You know, I gotta say, Jarrad, you know, your sound, your acoustic in your car sounds really good.
Yeah, I've had a lot of acoustic treatment done in my car here. You know, I do all my interviews here, so
I
and
think
it's my office as well, and sometimes my bedroom. So it's you know, you got to treat yourself, I guess. Unfortunately, on that note, I've actually got to duck out back to work. But thank you so much for having me. And
okay,
now
well,
you've got you've got lots of time to talk about Sounds Like Winter now. So
okay. Yeah, you know, I was just gonna say, okay, thank you. Are you gonna log off now?
yeah, cheers.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
all
gonna
right.
log off. But thank you so much, and nice to meet you.
You.
See you
See you
soon.
soon, man. Take
See ya.
care.
You know, I was just gonna say, I did an interview before in a car, and it really does have a good sound. There's something about the car. I mean, I think I'm gonna do my interviews. I'm gonna tell everybody to go in their car.
Or in the
Yeah,
car.
go in your car, yeah.
Put the lyrics in it.
It's a good mixture with the glass and the seats and the
Yeah,
carpet
yeah.
and stuff.
It really does.
Perfect.
I forgot about that. I'm gonna tell somebody, like people who live in England, because their connection sometimes is really bad. I'll just say, go in your car, roll up your window, and you can talk with me. I think it will sound better, because it just has a weird. I mean, you guys sound okay.
Mm.
It's just that he's a lot louder than you guys, but it's okay. It's I could still hear you guys really good.
Yeah. Good. Cool.
So you know, I want to talk about Sounds Like Winter. I know you guys have your debut album was Initiate, and that came out in 2016, right? Is that when the band formed, or was it?
The band, well, the band has been like an evolving thing. It started in 2013, really, as just a songwriting project between myself and another guy. There came a point where we were going to get given quite a good support slot playing for Gary Newman. And so we thought we'd better pull it together as a band and rehearse and get a live show together. That subsequently fell over. So the band existed without without a show. And it didn't really last much longer than that. The members kind of fell away, and I got Andy on board, and it jumped from there. And we had a bunch of half-finished songs. So I would say a good maybe 50-60% of Initiate was kind of pre-written. And then Andy and I wrote some more stuff together and then finished it off. So which is why Initiate.
The band wasn't fully formed.
The band wasn't
Yeah.
fully formed.
There wasn't all live members, and like Initiate, I think you can hear the dichotomy there. There's like certain songs on it, like Ishmael's Bones and Aberrations, and even Bowman, which are the newer sounds, and then you have some of the, what's it called?
The distance between.
The distance between, that's the old, and so we were busy sort of stabbing that to death when we joined the band.
He was.
Yeah.
I still honor the original roots of Sounds Like Winter, but it's been nice to move on with something new. But it meant that Initiate, it really sounds a bit like a compilation album, and I like it for that. And then when with the second album, Sticks and Stones, we actually, that was where we solidified as a unit, and we kind of found our sound.
I think it was like halfway, because I think for me, the songs on that album are the best ones we've done. But we still weren't quite together. We were recording stuff before we played it live. With
We're kind of evolving in the way that we
evolving,
were, like,
and
making music and making songs and writing songs.
It was good, because by the time we got to the third album, we'd realized that, hey, we should really play these songs live
for a long time.
Yeah,
let them grow.
And then I think as a result, the third album
feels more organic.
more organic, more complete, and
Would you say you like the third? The third is the best album so far. would you say?
I'm kind of torn because I think the third is the most well realized production wise, but I think the second, I think Sticks and Stones has some of the best songs, but they just weren't properly finished.
Yeah.
But when we play them live, they sound really good.
Yeah.
And that was the thing. People were saying the difference between our recordings and our live show was night and day. Like we put on quite a dynamic live show, whereas Sticks and Stones can be a little bit clinical and at times because of the way it was created.
Yeah.
So we tried to capture that live energy in the third album.
Yeah, and that album form is going to be like that as well. So we are, currently recording, coming up with new songs. We have probably about what, four good songs. Yeah, 3.5 to 4 songs that are sounding really, really good. And the plan is to do that, is to, play them and play them and play them and let them grow and evolve. And then after that, we'll record.
And a big part of it that's unspoken is that we've had like 67 different bass players. And so each of them bring their own flavor to the band.
Yeah.
Like, because post-punk music, the bass needs to be very strong, right? So I don't like to play chords or anything like that. I like to do colors over the top of the bass. It kind of depends whoever in the band at the time. Like the three of us have been solid for quite
a few years now.
Yeah, 6 years.
6 years. But we have had different bass players and they all add their flavor to it. So now we have Jamie with us, which is he's not here today.
Yeah.
He's busy being a rock star.
Movie star.
Yeah.
We can't tell you what movie he's in.
Yet.
I like the Monsters and the Wedding Feast. I like that one a lot.
Yeah, they're favorites too. We like those. Yeah.
And the bass in those is really strong. Sian, who was playing on that record, he was
very good at that. Yeah.
Very good. He had this Simon Gallup kind of sounds. Jamie has a different sound.
Yeah.
Jamie's more jazzy and more free. But also Jamie is the funniest motherfucker you could ever hang out with. It's such a treat to actually just hang out and jam with him.
Yeah. So the album is going to be different because it is a different style of bass playing. So but it's sounded very interesting. So
So I know you guys have another release for the other bands, Sequential Zero.
Yeah.
You just have you just released something. Was it like early part of this month?
Yeah.
We're still in July, right?
Yeah.
So I think you released a fourth 2-track single.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, you ask your question first. Go for it.
I was gonna. Okay, so I noticed that you have these several what do you want to call this, sequence? You have the first sequence, second sequence, and that's how it's organized. And you have some tracks in those particular ones. Tell us about how you created that format.
So basically, because of the way music's delivered these days and consumed, the album format has its place, and I think it's really important. But what happens is if you release an album, then the last 4 tracks maybe will never get played on radio. They're only going to be heard in somebody's lounge room, So and like with Sounds Like Winter, we throw everything into every song. So there's no filler in the album. But even so, even so, there's songs on our current album which we've never heard on the radio.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But with Sequential Zero, it's the same deal. The songs are strong, and we put our all into them. So what I figured I would do is actually reflect what's going on in the market what I would release 5 2-track singles, get them out there, and then at the end of the 5 sequences, at that point we'll release an album with 2 more tracks on it and maybe some remixes, and then press it onto CD and possibly vinyl. So just to create more of a package or a reward at the end and something tangible. And it'll be at that point that we might go onto Spotify and all that. But as it is, it's just Bandcamp. It's just, getting the sound established, getting the name established, and just doing something really exciting. So, I'm working with Bruce, who's over in South Carolina.
Orchestra Nullify.
Orchestra Nullify, yeah.
these are the members of the band, right? There's another guy also. Who are the
Yeah.
members of Sequential Zero?
So it's myself and Colin Gallagher, who's in another Mantravision band called Burnt Souls.
Mhm.
They released one album maybe 18 months ago. It's worth checking out. And
He's got this really kind of like yeah, you know the band The Only Ones, like Another Girl, Another Planet. Like when I first saw them live, that's what it reminded me of, and it was kind of charming.
yeah, Burnt Souls have got a really, really nice sound, and I enjoyed producing their album. And Colin and I worked really well together. And so it was the same deal with Orcus Nullify. Basically, it started out with Orcus sending me pretty much unfinished songs, and I would cut them together, and then he would sing over the top of what I'd cut together, and then and we go from there. But that was how his first album kind of happened. But now he sends me completed songs, and I still do all the production on them and maybe some backing vocals and keyboards and stuff. But so basically working with Bruce and Colin in very similar ways with their own projects, it
Mhm.
meant that we had a musical language we could, we could speak to each other with and collaborate quite easily. So basically,
He never stops.
He never stops.
He never stops.
Always
Like,
something
always
else
so busy.
Yeah.
it's weird because I do manage to watch a lot of television.
So all these bands are, you have a Bandcamp page for
Yes,
Sequential Zero,
Yeah.
and also for Sounds Like Winter, you have a website, right? For that one, soundslikewinter.com.
that's kind of like it's an online portal to be able to buy our merch.
Do we
Really,
have that?
yeah, we do.
Oh, cool.
It's basically an online portal to buy our merch, and it's also like Mirror's Bandcamp. You can get digital downloads from there as well.
It's weird now because like with Web 2.0, where everything's platformed, once upon a time, initial web, everybody had their own website, but now it's all about Bandcamp and Facebook and Spotify and,
Mm.
I don't know if the,
Well, I'll be sure to put the link down on the bottom of the.
Yeah.
that.
So
I mean,
Sounds Like Winter operates essentially off Facebook as its webpage.
oh,
but-
okay.
But it's handy to have the soundslikewinter.com there because we've got vinyl for sale and we've got CDs for sale. Now COVID really like killed a lot of that
Yeah.
because the
The
postage
shipping is insane.
the postage
Yeah.
to send a $10 CD is $30.
Yeah.
Like to send overseas.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, Australia is pretty expensive from here to.
yeah.
It's
But
pretty-
what I did manage to do was get a bunch of our CDs into the US. So we have an agent in the US that will mail out our CDs at a decent price. So that makes that easier. But it's still our vinyl is kind
Oh,
of
the
hard.
vinyl is different.
Yeah.
So if somebody from the US wanted to get your CD and they want, okay. If somebody wanted to get your CD, what would be the best link to find it, or
Through Bandcamp.
Bandcamp? Okay.
Through Bandcamp or even on soundslikewinter.com.
I was-
Either way.
I suggest buying the record because it's more beautiful and it sounds better.
No, that's true. Vinyl rules. That's for sure.
Yeah, and we went the extra step with the vinyl. It's green.
beautiful.
It's green. It's
Mhm.
180 grams.
Yes.
The cardboard is 300 GSM.
Looks
It's got
good.
photos and it's a beautiful piece of
Yeah.
of work.
Even
Yeah.
if it's only for us, and even if it's only like a kind of a weird vanity thing, to actually hold the record that you've made in your hands makes it feel real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
no, I like vinyl.
Yeah.
Is there anything else going on that you want to, anything upcoming that you want to mention?
No, I think we've covered everything in our live shows.
Yeah, in October,
Now
yeah.
we're very serious about getting over overseas, the US and even South America and maybe Japan, but we're really serious about wanting to do that in the near future now that this COVID thing's out of the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'd encourage anyone listening if they're if they want to see us over in their neck of the woods, reach out
Yeah.
because it's hard to network from here.
Yeah. Well,
But
Fine.
yeah, we're very, very keen to take that next step.
We'll do
Yeah,
it.
I'll be sure to put the link on the bottom.
Yeah.
can
We
reach
will
out and
sandwiches.
Yes, we'll do it for
We'll do
sandwiches.
sandwiches. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, we'll get ourselves over there. We'll pay the airfares. You just, yeah.
all right. Well, Ant, Banister, Andi Lennon, and Leticia. Thank you guys for joining me, and big shout out to UTM Music Group. And
Thanks.
stay warm over there. I know it's cold.
Yeah, we'll try and keep warm. And yeah, love your show too. It's great. Yeah.
Oh,
Thank you
thank you.
very much.
Love your music. You know, your music is great. Keep it up, and let me know if there's something going on in Melbourne around November.
Yeah, we'll keep you posted. Yeah. Yeah.
Even if you're DJing somewhere, that'd be cool. Love
Yeah.
to see it. All right. Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you guys.
Thank
Thank you so
you.
much. Thank you.
Yeah.
Take care.
Bye.
Cheers.
Okay, bye-bye. This one.